Now, I get a couple people ask me when you should stand up for yourself. And the question is always, if something bothers you or affects you, you should go to that person and speak about it, say something about it, etc. Now, I'll tell you a story. I was in Atlanta, and I was with some other Crips down in Atlanta, and there was one of the Crips named Peabody. Peabody, a cool-ass dude, and I was with a bunch of the other lokes, sassing them, the dudes that was on Love and Hip Hop. Well, they wasn't on Love and Hip Hop then. But, you know, they lokes, so we gravitate towards each other. So we at the bar one night, and we getting drunk, and Peabody pouring shots. And he don't give me no shot. So I'm like, bro, this shit weird. Like, why bro ain't pouring me a shot? So the next day, when they had come over to the crib, I had pulled Peabody to the side. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, we got an issue? Like, we got to run a fade, or like, what's going on? And he told me straight up. He said, bro, he said, I was drunk. He said, I ain't even realize that I ain't give you a shot. Like, you the homie. Like, I fuck with you. And I felt like a dick because I was like, damn. Like, I went and like pressed this dude for no reason. And he was like, nah, homie. He like, you know, I respect it. He's like, I see where you coming from. But he's like, it's not even like that. But if I didn't stand up for myself, I would have held that in. I wouldn't have said nothing. And I would have felt some type of way about the homie. And he didn't even mean it. It wasn't for no reason. So whenever you feel about something, feel some type of way about something, go up to the person and say it, whether it's your girl, your parents, one of your friends. If you feel some type of way about anything that's going on, you should stand up for yourself and go to them, because if you hold it in, it's going to boil over and it's going to turn into resentment. And you're going to start resenting somebody. There's a lot of communication issues within relationships. And I spoke about this in the other video, where people don't communicate. And it causes resentment, and it causes them to act out and lash out in different ways. Now you're arguing about not locking the door, or leaving a cup on the table. Y'all getting in stupid ass arguments because one or both of you didn't communicate what the issue was. So you never discussed these issues. So it's boiling over into other things. Happens with friends too. A lot of times friends will feel some type of way and they won't stand up for themselves and they won't talk about it. And it'll boil over into another issue too, where y'all might even end up as enemies and no longer friends because of this. So you should always speak out when something bothers you or affects you. Now, if you're at work, of course, you can't tell your job, yo, I don't like the way you acting. You can tell my boss to sucker whatever. You can't do that. You're going to get fired. There's ways and guidelines to go about things. You have to go up and say, listen, I don't like this. I don't think this is a good protocol, or I don't think this is working for me. Or you go over their head and you speak to their higher ups. And I'm going through an issue like that at work now. So you go and you speak to the higher ups. You get it handled from there if you think that your boss isn't going to work it. But still, stand up for yourself. Don't get in an argument with the police. The police pull you over. And I see this all the time. And it's like, my rights are so-and-so. Bro, relax, okay? That's what lawyers are for. That's what the criminal justice system and court system is for. If they illegally arrest you, just sit there and smile. You're going to have that big-time lawsuit. Don't worry about it. At that point, you're not standing up for yourself. You're making more problems. You're arguing. You're being an idiot. Don't argue with a guy who pulls a gun on you trying to rob you. It's a good way to get shot and be dead. I mean, there's certain times and guidelines, obviously. Now, if somebody comes up to you and disrespects you, slaps you or something, punch them in the face. Somebody disrespects your mother or your kids or your wife while you're with them or anywhere, by all means, punch them in their face. Violence is the answer in a lot of times, because some of these individuals, they haven't had violence, or they haven't had violence on the level that violence needs to be done. I see it all the time. You got dudes in the mall disrespect people's kids, and my homeboy actually just choked somebody out in the mall because dude disrespected his kids and then tried to swing on him, and my homeboy choked his ass out, and then he tried to press charges. It's like, bro, like, you started this whole fight. Because this is the cowardly stuff that individuals do nowadays. But always stand up for yourself. Always say what's on your mind. Never hold things inside, because that's going to create resentment. And a lot of times people be like, oh, well, you shouldn't say everything that's on your mind. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. I promise you, it will give you better relationships, friendships. It will give you better relationships with your children when you have children, when you get married. It'll give you a better relationship with your parents. Stand up for yourself. Speak your mind and stand up for what you believe in. If somebody's saying something and you disagree, don't just sit there and let them say it. Say, hey, you know what? I feel this way and this way. And if they start getting some type of way about it, be like, you know what? I don't even want to discuss this, because you don't know how to have a discussion like an adult. And if they try to get violent because they don't like you, punch them in the face. I mean, that's always the answer when When somebody can't have a logical, intelligent conversation, the answer is always extreme violence. I'm not telling you to just go punch people in the face, but try to walk away and be like, all right, you're right, whatever, and go. And if they follow you and keep, because that's what happens nowadays with a lot of these, just slap them one good time. Some people need a slap. But always, in every situation, if you feel you've been wronged or if you feel something bothers you, always stand up for yourself.